So, um, I'll always put things in perspective. It's so sad to hear these bottom feeders calling you pedophile when they live in this deluded. So, um, I'll always put things in perspective. It's so sad to hear these bottom feeders calling you pedophile when they live in this deluded reality where they want you to accept this reality, where they're actually working for entities filled with pedophiles. And me, it's just a level of logic that's is damn near on the spectrum. And they use these tonalities like you are gonna burn to death, and all in an attempt to try to get you to accept this falsified reality they put together that it sounds really illogical, but that's their job. They're supposed to break it down this way. They tell me about all the different torture I'm going to experience. Listen, I have no doubt with the amount of level of embarrassing, humiliate these people. Yes, it's been humiliating for them to dumb themselves down. And the people they've used sometimes, obviously people who are sensible people who appear to be sensible, logical, but having to dumb themselves down to get you to accept these things. You see this picture right above me. This is from, I remember watching this movie when I was like 19 years old or something like that. This is 18, now she's the same age as me, she's about the same age, but in this movie she's 18 years old, I'm 19. And she played this character where she's like this like 13, 14-year-old, and when she's 18, and she does something with the father that she was like babysitting for. I'm watching this movie, and this movie, obviously, I know she's an adult. I know she's an actress about my age. She looked like somebody that I know that's around my age. So as I'm watching this, I get very sexual stimulations at the time. Now I'm 19, she's 18. But in the movie she's playing like a 13 or something like that. But she looks like that. She's about the same age as one I'm watching. And they're like, remember those sexual stimulation? So when you look at kids, this is what you're experiencing today. We're matching to that. They're just making me experience sexual stimulations. And try to make me imagine like the movie. I was like, are you serious? Do you think I'm going to let these people live this fantasy? And they're like, no, we're mapping. Because they want me to look at them as people who make sense. No, you are making me feel like sexual stimulation to kids. 14 years old. You see, that was at the airport, some 14-year-old child. Even younger. Honestly, this much younger than that. And they're like, no. Then you're going to be screaming. You're going to try to disorient you. Because what you're saying shows how illogical these people are. And you're going to listen down here that they specifically force people to have these sexual perversions, like stimulation toward kids. And for them, when they make me experience this thing right now, is something they decided they use nonsensicalness to break you down and to make you accept this thing that's just nonsensical. They force you to get perception and stimulation toward kids. But they're like, but that movie, where you watch this movie about when you're 19 years old or so, watching this adult actress playing this underage girl, you felt sexual stimulation when they were having sexual things. That's proof. And they're like, no, but the concept is like the concept. I was 19 years old looking at somebody who looked like my age. What do you mean? I should be like, oh my gosh, no. And they're like, no, and they try to find a way to create this like out of loop reality. Just like, no, but it's just the concept of what it's like you imagine that dynamic, this like, I'm like, what? I was a 19-year-old watching sex scenes from this girl who was about my age but was playing a kid. What do you think? These people are delusional. I was not actually that was not a child. That's an adult. Well, a young adult just like me, my age. You talk about no, these kids on this side. This is an actual child that they forced me to get stimulation. They're like, no, we match it to when you were looking and watching these movies. This movie of this woman. In this picture, she's like 18 years old. It's like we match it to that. And it's like, you're going to get raped, you're going to be tortured, suffocate, die slow. I was like, I'd rather die slow than live your freaking disturbing fantasies. Because what they do is they force you to experience things, and then they're like, no, what we're doing is we're just kind of matching, we're connecting this thing. And they come out with this. No, you are making me experience things that are not naturally experienced. Once you make me experience these things, then you try to find ways to create some logical rationality about it. You know, and they try to make you feel like scared and want you to identify with this. They were making me think of this kid's, this, I think it's on this side. They did this. She's like a 14-year-old kid. They were trying to make me imagine some disturbing sexual thoughts about this kid. And somebody just knock on the door. As if because somebody knocks on the door, I'm going to think, oh, those are just naturally happening. And because I keep saying these things that they hate that I'm not identifying with this, I know bad things are going to happen to me. Because they want you to identify with this falsified reality. And they come up with the concepts like, no, but this the movie maybe, but the dynamic is like, what? I was a 19-year-old watching this movie, watching this sex scene or whatever, getting stimulated because this is a girl who's my age or above my age, and whatever character they have, that's I'm watching this as a 19-year-old. And like, no, but the dynamic is that. So now when you experience these things sort of kids, and it's this is like 14-year-old kid, you imagine this like, because today they make me experience these nasty things. Target individuals, this is humiliating, and then they get embarrassed. Even more when you have women like that saying they do these things where they aim this program perversion. They make me feel sexual stimulation toward kids, young people, children. Teenagers, they even do this program perversion at night. But me, we mapped it when you watch this movie when this adult was playing this kid. When you were 19 years old watching this. That's proof. And they use this tonality, they make noise campaign. Boom. Oh, it makes more sense. They really are trying to dumb you down. And then they use people who you want to look at, like people who are like try to like they're credible in the sense that they're logical, they're sensible people, but in this moment they're going to dumb themselves down to get you to accept this retardations of thoughts, of logics. This is obviously a program led by the government that is trying to break somebody down into accepting these things and using nonsensicalness, and they use this aggressive tones like they're going to kill you, they're going to rape you, they're going to torture you, I'd rather get raped, tortured, and do this. And the embarrassment, what you're gonna see, is guess who's actually the pedophiles in. Yes, the unfortunate part about these things is, as they try to get you to accept these things, reality always knocks on their door. It's like, hey, guess who's the pedos? Yes, the entities that contracted you. This is real life. You are here making nonsensical ways of logic while manipulating, while the reality, the people who are architecting this program are filled with pedophiles. The humiliation these people have to live through. But because they're together, they go through this humiliation together. But I'm not going to let them escape. I'm not. Regardless of what's waiting for me. Because they don't know what's waiting for them. To be determined. But it's coming back one way or another. This level, how can you be humiliated this naturally? With me doing nothing. It's just a matter of time. So to all my target individuals, stay strong and see how illogical these people have to make themselves be.
Started laughing, and then I said again out loud, "You'll never take my will, ASS." So just to show them that I meant what I said, I kept playing with my dog, and even though that attacks continue, I don't let them get me. Today they continue with the programming of perversion, but this time they are aiming in the use. A people, better said young people, also children and homosexuals. When I aggravated them I usually called demeaning names, and one of them is referring to homosexuals. For me all of the slaves are misfits, society haters, scumbags etc. No, I don't have anything personal against them, homosexuals, but as my way to aggravate the slaves, and since they love to use children for the torture and stalking, street theater etc. Especially teenagers for the stalking at close range with an attitude, they are using them during my sleep in the perversion program and
the target. It can make the target feel sexual arousal, or it can sort of turn off the target's.
I also experience what is referred to as malodorance, This is the alteration of the smell sensation so that I am often made to smell various things, including smoke, burning, dirty diaper, or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture, including the 1 hour of sleep or so, as I lay immobilized in my bed in complete fear. This experience, along with the brain being microwaved and along with some internet research, is what made me put the puzzle pieces together to realize that I was experiencing remote external manipulation via electronic weapons, because these symptoms of sexual assault were not physiologically normal or possible without external manipulation. It is not physiologically normal to just have repeated spontaneous orgasms all through the night like that, literally one right after another. And then it all made sense when I learned about microwave weapons. In 2015, I began to experience what some call V2K, or voice to skull. This involves the projection of voices, noises, and music directly into my mind to communicate with me in real time and at the speed of thought. And it also includes the manipulation of thoughts, emotions, and perceptions in the person's mind. Additionally, the targeting is all highly perverted and sexual, as well as destructive.
In my so dramatic. It is dramatic. It's somebody trying to end my life. It's somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophilia. This disgusting things. You saw where I was going with that first word. Disgusting things that I don't even want to talk about because it makes me sick. I don't even like those words in my mind. But it is what it is. So I have
1 hour of sleep or so, as I lay in
sexual conduct. This is one employee of the CIA had sexual contact with a 2-year-old and a 6-year-old. He was simply fired. One employee purchased sexually explicit videos of young girls filmed by their mothers. He resigned. One employee estimated that he had viewed up to 1,400 sexually abusive images of children while on agency assignments. Not sure what actions, if any, were taken by him. One contractor arranged for sex with an undercover FBI agent. I think that you mentioned that. Posing as a child, he had his contract revoked. One CIA staffer was charged with child sexual crimes, and the employee was also under investigation for mishandling classified material. The CIA did not answer detailed questions, saying only that the agency takes all allegations of possible criminal misconduct committed by personnel seriously. So you're saying the reason graph examinations. This is so disturbing.
Talking about it on YouTube. That's a direct quote.
Wow. Okay, here's more from this, and we'll finish this and then move on to the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. But sexual crimes involving children, says BuzzFeed, including the viewing of images of abuse, have been uncovered at other agencies that handle sensitive information. In a November 2009 report, the Department of Defense acknowledged that dozens of Pentagon staff members or contractors had such images. In 2014, the Inspector General of the Intelligence Community found that 2 officials from the National Reconnaissance Office, which oversees America's spy satellites, acknowledged viewing images of child sexual abuse during polygraph examinations. This is so disturbing. At a symposium in 2016, Daniel Payne, a top Pentagon security official, said that when workers' computers were examined, the amount of child porn I see is just unbelievable. Is this something that is happening for whatever reason with more frequency in our intelligence agencies, or is this something that is more pervasive in the general population than I originally realized? I mean, what's going on here? This is so bizarre and so evil.
Allie, we're told, and when I was put through recruitment into the intel community, you're put through polygraphs, you're put through a rigorous selection process. Why aren't these people weeded out? Why are so many pedophiles allowed to be given top-level security clearance? Remember, these aren't just people walking in off the street and saying, hey, can I get hired? Can I get a job? You're put through an extremely rigorous background check screening process. It's called an SSBI, single scope background investigation. There are people, they interview you, they interview your family, they interview your contacts, they go through your online footprint, they go through everything. So why is it that when they're going through these footprints, they're not checking, these digital footprints, they're not checking for so many pedophiles getting through their ranks. If it were up to me, you need to go into Congress, and Congress needs to launch a brand new church committee, number one, to talk about domestic surveillance operations, but number two, to ask the question, why are there so many pedophiles sitting behind those computer screens within the walls of Langley, within the Pentagon, and throughout the broader intelligence community?
People in my so dramatic. It is dramatic. It's somebody trying to end my life. It's somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophilia. This disgusting things. You saw where I was going with that first word. Disgusting things that I don't even want to talk about because it makes me sick. I don't even like those words in my mind. But it is what it is. So I have